the first day I asked you if you knew about North America or South America, and I asked you which part of the world is Ghana. But I want to give you a little snapshot of a little bit of where I came from. That map in the middle there, it shows the Atlantic Ocean, and then there's Guyana, the Cream Plains. I was born in that country. It sounds like Ghana, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And there to the west is Venezuela, to the east is Suriname, and then right below on the south is Brazil. And then further east is French Guyana. Now, there's, in order for you to get from Guyana to, let's say, United States, you have to take an airplane. And I don't have a map of the United States over there, but and in order for you to get from Guyana to Ghana, it's a very, very long place, a long way. Okay? But let's focus on Guyana. This is another close-up map over there. And Guyana is a large country, but the population over there, most people live on the coastline, along here and so on. It's not densely populated like Ghana. And so I grew up in a tiny village along here on the East Coast. And my village was so tiny that for years you did not hear about my village or even Guyana because it was just a small place. This is my village, Buxton, Friendship. And you see that hut over there to your right? When I was a little girl, I grew up in a home looking almost like that. My parents were young high school dropouts. My parents never finished high school. But my parents became my hero because even though they did not finish high school, they were some of the hardest working people I knew. I was born into a family, there were 6 of us, 6 children. My mom, every day, provided means for us to have our meals. My dad worked very hard. My dad would get up early in the morning and my mom would fix him his breakfast, and he would ride his bicycle 12 miles to work in the main village and in the main city to work, and then he would ride his bike 12 miles coming back, and he would do that for 5 days a week. So that's 24 miles every day. Then my mom, she was a homemaker, and she would busy herself making pastries and cooking all kinds of delicious food, and she would sell these to the villagers in the village. She took whatever God gave her in her hands and created something. My dad did the same thing. He was a builder, and they're my parents. You see, they believe that whatever your life's work is, you should do it well. A man should do his job so well that the living, the dead, and the unborn could do it no better. That speaks loudly to me because it says that you do not have to wait on anyone to do something for you. God has given you all that you need and you have to just apply yourself. So that's what my parents did. And later I realized that they were my heroes because they did all the sacrificing so that in the future we can become whomever we want to be. So here are some of the things that my father created. We had a yard, maybe 2 acres. And we lived in that tiny home like I showed you. And my dad's dream was to build a big house. My dad had land, so what he did was he planted all these vegetables that are here on the left, the fruit trees. My yard was always filled with fruit trees. And when I was a little kid, I was termed a tomboy because I would always be climbing the fruit trees and picking fruits and eating, or we would sell the fruits. My dad planted a huge vegetable garden. And I loved it so much because every day I came home from school, I would help him, water the plants, and I would look at the plants as they grew, and harvest time was my best time. I would be picking the vegetables, and then my mom would sell them, my dad would sell them, and so on. So they made use of whatever they were given and produce things so that they can make a living and take care of their family. Now, this picture over here, my dad finally built his big house. And in my book, I tell stories about what it took, how he would come home on weekends and he would invite his friends and his cousins to come and help him raise the house. My dad never borrowed money from the bank or anything. He just saved his money after working. And then every time he had enough, he would buy materials and he would build a big house. So by the time I was in high school, your age, the big house was finished. And these stairs here, I put the picture over there because my dad loved to paint, and our home, the stairs needed to be changed every year. So one year, the middle of this steps would be yellow, and then the side would be blue. He would teach us, my sister and I, how to paint our bedrooms, in different colors. The floor that we walked on had to be very shiny. Everybody had to take their shoes off at the door. He was so proud of his creations. And my mom was very proud of her creations, and I loved it. Because she created all these delicious pastries. And every day she would carry the pastries in her little basket. She would go down to the different areas and she would sell those pastries and come back with a big smile on her face. She became known as the best cake maker. Everybody wanted her to bake the cakes for their weddings. She would make 2 tiers and 3 tiers and 4 tiers cakes. And I would sit there as a little girl just watching her create all these beautiful roses and everything for the cake. And she was so happy. And then on the side, she would, this iron there, back then, she would iron clothes for the rich people in my village. And it was just a wonderful thing to watch and to see and to learn how to make a living with whatever God put before you. So when I was in in my early, my late teens, my parents had applied to travel to the United States. My aunt had invited my parents to join them in the United States. And part of the immigration system is that if you are going to immigrate out of one country to the other, you have to be a minor, and you have to be under 21. And so by the time my parents had a chance to leave, this is, okay, good, I'm glad this map is here. Because this part of the world, can you recognize this part of the world? This is the part of the world where I'm from. This is Guyana, and this is the capital, Georgetown, right? And these are called the Caribbean areas. We have like St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, and then you come over here, Jamaica. Have you heard of Jamaica before? Yes. Yeah, that's the capital, Kingston, Jamaica, and so on and so on. And you come over here, and this is North America. This is in the United States of America, and you have all these different cities and states and so on and so on. So I left here, and I stopped over here in Barbados. Where is Barbados? Right there. After my mom left for the United States, I decided to go on my own as a young person and travel. Then I came to the United States of America. And so that's me, looking really cool over there.
Right.